Well, the first day of advance voting, as Jamie was teeing up, really means the clock is now ticking for candidates who are hoping to attract support to their platforms.
So joining us live in the studio this morning is one of the front runners, former Toronto Police Chief Mark Saunders. Mark, great to have you in the studio. Full disclosure, your team contacted us about an announcement that you wanted to make this morning regarding one of the other mayoral candidates. You've even started a website called www.stopchow.ca. Tell us more.
That's right. So it's Saunders is how you stop Chow. And here's the thing. Right now, when we look at the election, and it started on April 3rd, but I've been consistently second in the polls, except for one. I'm not believing their numbers. But the bottom line is this. The only way that we can stop Olivia Chow from being in that seat is to vote for me. And I say that because, absolute contrast, Olivia Chow will defund the police. Olivia Chow does not like the police. I will fund the police. And when we talk about right now the economic state that we're in, the fact that she'll be raising taxes to at least 25% when you listen to what she's not saying, the hardship that will cause on our city is going to be catastrophic. And then the third thing, when we talk about decriminalizing drugs, listen, I'm running for this seat. I do not want our city to look like other cities. There is a chance that we can save this city. And with the right leadership, with experienced leadership at that city hall, we can move the city in the right direction. And I believe that I'm the person that will do that.
So you talked about polls, and yeah, there was a one outlier poll that put Anna Bailão ahead of you, but I agree with you, you've been consistently second, and consistently it's been difficult to get an answer out of Ms. Chow in terms of what her platform is and what her tax plan may necessarily be, where it's going to be going. But when you talk about the polls, even this week, her momentum is up. She's up 5 points again. You seem to have kind of stalled in the polls here. So why you, and what specifically are you asking the other candidates or other voters to do? What is the plan here?
Well, I'm asking voters to vote for me to stop Olivia from being in the seat. You know, we're at that point now in the election where people are starting to pay attention to the race. They weren't before. And it was about name recognition and only name recognition. But now when you look at the contrast and what you're actually voting for, the question is, what do you want the city to look like? I know what I want the city to look like. I want it to look like a healthy, vibrant city. I don't want it to look like the other cities that have collapsed. We have random crime and disorder issues. When I'm knocking on doors, I'm hearing this time after time. Olivia doesn't even have a platform for crime and disorder. If you can't even have so much as a platform or a stance on what you will do for crime and disorder, if you dislike the police, which she has when she served on the Toronto Police Service Board and was trying to break a police line, this is who's going to be the mayor of the city of Toronto. People are asking me, what do we need to do to not make her get in that seat? And I've told them, vote for me. I am the best chance to have Olivia Chow not sit in that seat.
But do you need the other candidates to fall in line with that? I mean, Anna Bailão, Mitzi Hunter, Anthony Furey, Josh Matlow, they're all kind of not that far behind necessarily. You kind of need their help as well. Are you asking them directly to sort of do this and shift?
I'm asking for that united front, yes. But I'm also appealing to the voters. We have a high percentage of voters right now who are undecided. And that's because right now this election is a unique election. We've got 102 candidates in it. Well, 101 plus Molly the dog, but we have 102. And people are not sure which way to go. I'm drawing the line in the sand and I'm saying, here's what you need to do. If you want this city to go into disorder, it is going to be Olivia Chow. If you want the city to be safe, moving in the right direction, where affordability is a key issue, when I knock on the doors and I'm hearing people struggling day after day, 25% property tax is not what you want. So I'm making sure that people have a firm understanding of that, what the contrast is, what the city should look like, and what the city could look like.
And we all know that, you know, besides safety and crime, housing is a big issue. But when you talk about safety, you say that you're going to hire 400 new police officers. Just to clarify, the money for that is not going to be on taxpayers' backs?
Oh, yeah, we have to keep our city safe. Let's take Toronto for what it is. It is the 4th largest city in the continent. When we look at the police to population, we have Vancouver. It's 189. We have Montreal. It's 204. And we have Toronto, 163. Right now, it is taking 20 minutes for the priority 1 911 calls. 20 minutes for the calls that they are highly trained to do. There are a lot of factors for that, including the fact that City Hall has not provided the right resources on so many other streams to prevent the police not having to go to them. My plan is complete. Yes, it involves meeting that standard, because if you're calling 911, I want to make sure that people get there, highly trained people get there. But number two, we have to deal with those social entities as well, too, the homelessness, the poverty, all of those things. But in order to do that, we have to prioritize what we do with the tax dollars. I'm going in there to prioritize the funds to keep our city safe from all aspects.
You know, ever since we were contacted by your team last night, obviously we've been talking about this in the newsroom. Some people are suggesting this sounds kind of desperate or like a little bit of a Hail Mary. How would you describe this? Because we're like 2.5 weeks away now, and I mean, you're like 21 points behind.
Yeah, it's a wake up. It's time to be able to see through the fog. If you're going to vote for someone that is not going to tell you how they're going to increase property taxes, that is not going to support the police, that is going to defund the police, that is going to decriminalize drugs, and that's what you're going to vote for mayor, then you're going to get what you expect. I'm drawing the line in the sand as a wake-up call to the voters to say, this is what Toronto will be. You need to understand the importance of the vote. You need to understand why you need to get out and vote in order to keep our city and move our city in the right direction, not the wrong direction.
Mr. Saunders, I just want to play devil's advocate. Let's say that there are a majority of people out there, decided voters, voting for Olivia Chow, not because of necessarily the name recognition, but because perhaps her track record and her platform of, even if it's raising taxes, helping people that are not in a great financial state right now. We just came out of a pandemic. There's a lot of homelessness. There's a lot of people who need that support, that got used to the government's support. So what are you telling those voters who vote for Chow because they think that she's going to deliver, that she's going to help them in terms of those social supports, those warming centers, those things that are going to cost taxpayers? What's your plan to help that?
Yeah. Well, again, I know the city well enough. I've lived in it for 40 years, served it, put my life on the line. And right now, the issue is this. Our city is at that turning point, which is why I'm running for mayor. When I knock on the doors and people are saying to me, I'm scared. My daughter is not going on the subway. There are people that have the option of getting on the subway, and there are people that don't have that option. The fact that we have so many newcomers coming in, we have to set a level playing field so that the city is safe, and it's healthy, and it's vibrant again. I'm going to suggest to you the small businesses that are suffering right now will not want a 25% tax increase. We have to do it right. We are not going to tax our way through this. There is no way that that is going to be a viable solution for the city, and having crime and disorder enhanced significantly is not a healthy city of Toronto. So I don't think that the vast majority of people undecided want that in our city.
Okay, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Mark Saunders joining us live as he starts a new campaign saying Saunders is the way to stop Chow. We'll see if it works. Thanks for joining us and breaking this news here on CB24 Breakfast this morning.
Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
All right.